Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Friday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today I've got episode 2 of The Assembly, which is the programme I've been talking about yesterday, about the Danny Dyer episode. This episode is about the former Doctor Who, Dr. David Tennant, and as I did in the last video, I'm going to talk about the introduction bit. This to me again is very confusing. I don't understand why they're not introducing each other, or why David Tennant didn't introduce himself to them. I found it a bit weird that the anxiety would have been high, their sensory issues would have been high, the unknown, the unpredictability would have been high. So I don't understand why they didn't do introductions prior, or once they got to sit down in the meeting room. I found that a bit weird and a bit anxiety raising. I'm like, Like they're all sitting there acting like they know each other and they don't, and I don't understand why they weren't introduced, or why there wasn't name badges on them or some form of icebreaker activity. So I found that a bit really weird. And are they prepared beforehand? Are the people with autism, neurodiverse and intellectual disability prepped beforehand? Because it seems like there's no prep, no rehearsal, no scripting. Like it just seems like it's completely just let's go and make it this documentary kind of thing. It doesn't seem like it's been scripted, or they've been given time to prepare questions, or it just seems like it's just completely off the fly, which again I guess is to show that they can relate to reality and the environment, and being able to ask questions off the top of their heads, and being able to ask a neurotypical person questions that they wouldn't get the chance to if they hadn't had the chance of a TV network filming them and getting the celebrities to agree to do this. So I think that's another thing. But things that I did like about this episode, which have kind of slowly won me round on this programme, is that I like the fact that David did generally overly thoroughly enjoy his time with them. He was smiling, he was greeting them, he was laughing, he was bantering, like he acted like he really wanted to be there, and like the intense focus of leaning forward and like looking around to the other people, and like he seemed to really want to be there and enjoy himself. And the fact that all the questions that were thrown at him in the 35 minutes program running time, that he seemed that he actually really wanted to be there and answer the questions. He was boom 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 of each answer, like it was literally click 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 of how quick he was answering the questions. He didn't hesitate, he didn't struggle, he didn't refuse to answer anything. I think that worked in his favour for that, and the fact that he was able to relate to them and some of the personal situations that these people were going through or have experienced, and he's able to give examples of how he's dealt with it and how he's used coping strategies and such to look after himself. And I like the fact that he also agreed with being different and letting people be, because one of the questions was like, why did you decide to become an ally to the community? Why did you decide to get involved in campaigning, standing up for people who are different? And he said, it's about time, word for word, that we let people be and let them be themselves. That couldn't have been a truer statement said. I strongly agree with that statement. I strongly agree that we should let people be who they are, who they're created to be, who they are made to be, because not everyone's going to be the same. He said, it's about time it stops being a political football. Again, I totally agree with it, because disability should not be a political football. Unfortunately, right now it is a political football, because the Labour government, the Conservatives and other political parties are trying to use us as political leverage, and unfortunately that is going against us at the moment. And it is a scary time for all people with disabilities across the board, not just me, not just other neurodiverse, intellectually disabled, visual people, blind people, epileptic people, people with mental health issues. It is across the board. All people with disabilities at the moment are potentially being threatened, worried about their benefits being frozen, stopped, cut out entirely, and it does worry me, because I am one of many disabled people fighting for her benefits and to make sure that her future is safe and what I know I'm allowed to have because of what the government awards me for. But also I like the fact that he said that he was enjoying himself, that he was learning about himself, he was learning about the other people around him, he was spending time with them. There was a lot of questions about Doctor Who and his love of acting, the theatre, why he's an actor, and his current Macbeth play that he's been doing. There was a scene that he performed in One of the People, and they asked him about his favourite job to be remembered for, and he said it was Doctor Who. So again, he obviously doesn't mind being associated with that, from what I can tell. And then one of the personal questions which I thought was going to really cause a problem with him responding and retaliating to it was the fact that he was asked about the death of his parents. I think this question, we have to be so careful talking about the loss of people's parents, and the way that people ask the question. The question was asked in such a blunt fashion. It was like, oh, how do you feel about the loss of your parents? I'm like, damn. Like, that was brutal. Like, you have to be so subtle and careful with that kind of question. And I think for him to respond quite quickly and say, you know, obviously it's devastating, it tore him up, he still misses them, he still thinks about them, you know, he knows they're with him in spirit and stuff. And I think that's really cute and a good answer to say, because he wasn't saying, oh, my grief's worse than yours or whatnot. He wasn't saying, oh, well, it affects me more than you. No, he was on a human-to-human level, responding, relating, being able to articulate his feelings, his thoughts, his processes. And I think that made him come across more human and more gentle and humble and authentic. And I think some celebrities don't come down to that level, and he actually showed himself to be gentle, to be humble, to be understanding, respectful. And I think that gave him, again, a good benefit of the doubt. Also, when he talked about emotions, he said it's about time we let people be and express themselves. So I think, again, that comes under the thing of we need to stop limiting people's ability to express, to talk, to perform, to say what they have to say, because, again, that is something that is under threat of free speech. The way that we say things, the way that we come across, the way that we may want to say something may not exactly be the typical way of saying it. And then one of the questions was, what are you secretly proud of? And he said getting his wife's initial tattooed on his wrist. And I think for someone who has a fear of needles, I can relate to that. I hate needles. Anything sharp, pointy, metal, just makes my skin want to cringe. No. Like, so for him to be brave and overcome that one little fear, he managed to actually get a little small initial on his wrist. He's like, that's really good, because it takes a lot of guts to not want to not do it or refuse to even do it. Like he said, he didn't want to do it, but he did it because it was his wife's big milestone birthday. So I respect him on that aspect of things. I think it was really brave. And then he was asked about his appearances in Postman Pat the movie, and he basically said he wasn't really in the movie, but he was a voice actor for the bad character in Postman Pat, but he got the opportunity because of his friend who was in it, who played Postman Pat. So without him, he wouldn't have got the chance to be in Postman Pat. So again, he was blessed and lucky that he's been in that movie as well. And then they asked him, when were you most scared or the most frightened? And his answer was when he saw that his kids were sick or hurt. Which again is a good answer, because it shows that he's a human, that he's empathetic, he's caring. He knows that when other people are hurting, that's going to hurt him. And when other people are sick, it affects him. So again, he's able to show that empathy, that restraint, that care and compassion that a lot of people aren't as forthcoming with and not as understanding or respectful of. And then it says, have you ever struggled with your mental well-being or well-being? And he was like, yes, absolutely I have. Absolutely I have. Where he was found in the floor in the fetal position at the first night of his Hamlet performance. I think for me, I can totally relate to that, because having that anxiety build up and 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 build up until it gets so bad that you just want to crash and disappear. It's like your brain just gets to you and gets to you and gets to you and gets to you to your point where it's like, well, you're worthless, you're rubbish, you're not going to do this, you're going to fail, you're going to muck up, you're going to really make yourself look like an idiot, you know, you're going to sound stupid, you're going to look stupid, you're going to make yourself look embarrassed, and it gets you to such a point where you just like, oh, should I just not bother? You know, like, so I totally get that. I totally get the fact that he was on top of his game about it. He was very honest about it. And the fact that he said he's learned more about the neurodivergency of people, the people with disabilities. He understands more of himself as an actor, as a person. But what the final thing that I disagreed with this episode, they did a song called Our Hearts Are Broken. What? And the lyrics basically said, our hearts are broken, we were broken. then we were free, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, what kind of message is that? What kind of message are you putting out by letting them sing a song called Our Hearts Are Broken? That is implying to me that people with disabilities, autism, neurodivergency, intellectual disabilities are broken. Why would you let them sing that? What are you trying to comply here? Are you trying to comply that disability needs to be prevented? Because the way that came across was like, no, it's not okay. That message is not okay. The fact that the song was called Our Hearts Are Broken. What? Why? Why put a song out there like that a lot of people are going to take to and go, what the hell was that? Because we're not broken. Our hearts aren't broken. We're not sick. We're not damaged. We're not ill. We're not mentally ill. Like, why would you do a song called Our Hearts Are Broken? What, why? Why was there any grounds for that song to even be made? Like, you're putting out such a wrong, subtle, inappropriate message there, and it's really inappropriate, and it really actually kind of upset me, because you don't put a song like that out there. You just don't. So that's another thing. I'd be very careful. If you are going to make music about disability or intellectual disability, make sure you don't use the words broken, healed, free. Like, no, why? It's just completely inappropriate. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing my thoughts on this. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.